automatic alert that you can use the same vessel for the two shipments. And there is the discharge of one of the shipment is in Mumbai and the other is in Dammam port. So we have the fabrication facility activity at Hazira, and then the second shipment is going to be dispatched at Dammam port. So these kind of AI alerts are being used now in the industry. So data is the new oil, and with the help of data, if you have the robust ERP and you have all the shipment points punched, dispatch port, discharge port, and then what is the weight, dimensions, then AI can do lots of wonders which was earlier not possible. The second example, I would like to give the case study of complex invoice and packing lists, commercial invoices, which are very complex in nature, and packing lists, how they can be used with the help of AI. Earlier, what was happening that there is a module yard in China, and you have lots of language conversion with in the Mandarin, and then you have the packing list, which is running in hundreds of line items. Then you have to compare it with the BOM, bill of materials. And a large team was deployed for the same coding, decoding, putting in the Chinese customs formats, and then you basically present it to the customs, and then the custom clearance happens. Now with the help of AI, and with a much smaller team, and with much error-free operation, you can do with the help of AI. So lots of things are happening. You can do negotiations, procurement negotiations. Again, earlier, probably you were blank. If you have, your company has the historical data, then there is large chances that you were not blank. But if you don't have any background, then you are only dependent on the quotations which you are receiving from the supplier. Now, with the help of AI, you can do a lot of procurement negotiations, and AI can give you much better accuracy what is the anchoring of this quotation should be. So these are some applications which I'm just talking about, but the possibilities are endless. So there is going to be an emergence of the new era which we are entering into. It is kind of a breakthrough technology, just like human beings witnessed electricity invention, 1880s, the light bulb invention by Edison. So AI is going to be a much more impactful, and we are just witnessing the change. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Let's applaud once again for Mr. Rishabh Agarwal. And then we have Mr. C.V. Kumar, Center for Driver Relationship Management from Paris KQ IoT Solutions. Let's applaud for Mr. C.V. Kumar.
Thank you, Shruti. I represent Paris IoT Solutions. It is Paris KQ, not Paris KQ. Paris means a Sanskrit word to make perfect. Okay, thank you. But here I am talking about something else which interests all of us, which is basically about drivers. Sanjay ji, thank you very much for the previous session, because it set the context for my talk today. And many very interesting comments which came from our audience. So let's talk about it. Thank you. I know the $1,000 worked well. Okay. So we would like to talk about today what activities, what CDRM does, and what exactly CDRM stands for. All of us know, the next please. This is one, right? So, a question to this audience. Do you think this is going to be a reality in India? And how long do you think this is going to be a reality in India? Any number of years? Any guesses? 10 to 15 years? 20, 30 years? 5 years?
Anyway, inbound has already started happening. It has already started. Yeah.
Okay.
Refineries and stuff already happening.
Yeah, okay. So in-plant is happening, ranging from 5 to 20 years. But is it really true that it's going to happen in 5 to 20 years, given the Indian road conditions? Something which all of us need to think about. And even if it happens, till then, I think he is the most critical element in the supply chain which we are talking about. There is no way you can talk about supply chain resilience, we can talk about supply chain stability, supply chain safety, sustainability without talking about the elephant in the room, which is basically the driver. Why is that we are not talking about drivers, and why is that we are not talking and doing something for drivers? So what CDRM does is basically talk about drivers. 85% of logistics, of course, road, powered by drivers. No driver, no logistics. And what are the challenges which they face? I was just talking to a leader here in this August audience a few minutes back. Long waiting periods, for loading, unloading, which I am sure Ronak would agree with me, kills the viability and the economics of operating a vehicle, makes life miserable for everybody in the entire chain. Okay, be the seller, buyer, the LSP, the vehicle owner, the driver, everybody. These guys are away from their families for months and months together. And you know what? They earn well. We think, they don't earn well. They earn well, but then they are away from their families. Somebody else mentioned in the previous session, Ola, Uber, and Rapidos are taking the truck drivers. This shift did not happen today. This shift has been happening for the last 8 or 9 years, and this shift is accelerating. And one of the reasons why we are finding long-distance driver shortage is primarily because of this. One of the key reasons is the shift to move to this thing. So nobody wants to be away from their families for a long period of time, right? Then we have, a typical Indian situation, the highway vultures. They come in the guise of RTOs, they come in the guise of policemen, they come in the guise of GST officers, who penalizes, who, destroys the entire timelines of delivery in case of a small error or anything like that. And somebody else also spoke about lack of wayside amenities. One of the most crucial issues today is absolutely lack of wayside amenities for drivers. Safe parking places, because we have many cases of theft of material, theft of batteries, tires, fuel from the vehicles, all this happening because of unsafe this thing. No good restrooms for drivers to rest for a long period of time. But let me tell you, there are institutions like JNPA and other places, they are trying to build those driver facilities. Government of India, IOCL, BPCL, all the oil marketing companies coming with Vishramgar now. So some changes happening, but these are changes which are slow. So we need to do something else. But the biggest factor why we do have this driver issue is basically because lack of appreciation. Society looks down upon them. The authorities looks down upon them. The LSP colleagues, Ronak was kind enough to mention that they have a sensitization program for their employees how to handle drivers. It's an amazing this thing. We need to have this sensitization program for everybody in the chain, because drivers drive 2,000, 3,000 kilometers, truck with loads of 20, 25 tons, 30 tons, and he comes with absolutely difficult situations, chaotic Indian roads, so much uncertainty. And we treat him not very well, and that's one of the reasons why we do have this thing. So societal acceptance, lack of dignity, appreciation for drivers, I think key this thing. But drivers matter a lot. So what does CDRM do about this? CDRM is Center for Driver Relationship Management. We initiated, sometime back in August of last year, we started saying that, why is that we waiting for somebody else to award the drivers? Let us start doing it ourselves. In an extremely small manner, we started the project in August of 2024. We just had around 60 driver nominations coming in SDA 1. Right now, we are running the SDA 4. And I had the honor and privilege of handing over the award to the first winner of Smart Driver Award, somebody from Srinu Transport. And I should thank Mr. Mugundan Sheshadri, who is here, for allowing us his premise to conduct that event. He organized this thing. So thank you, Mugundan and Om, for this thing. So Smart Driver Award is our flagship program. That's one thing which we do. We have another program called Parivar Connect. see the LSPs, the fleet owners, or even the customers here do not really understand the socio-economic factors related to a driver and his family. And what we do is we go to their house, meet their families, tell them that your husband, your son, your brother is doing yeoman service to society, and give them gifts. That is one way of appreciating the families of drivers, because the husbands or the brothers are away for months and months together. So that is what we do, Parivar Connect. We have a quarterly magazine in English about the life of driver. It's called Driver's Dunia. If all of you would want to have a free copy of Driver's Dunia, both the print edition as well as the soft copy edition, I'll be more than delighted to share with you free copies. Okay. We conduct Driver Utsav. Driver Utsav is nothing but a celebration of drivers who work for companies. We just had, recently conducted for Aditya Birla Group in their mines, one in Renukut and one in Ranchi now, where around 200, 300 mine drivers were facilitated, encouraged, safety training was done, safety pledges were taken, and then they were awarded and rewarded. And CDRM organized this entire, facilitated this entire thing. So what CDRM does is do Smart Driver Award, popularize the concept of drivers and their dunya and their world, Parivar Connect and Driver Utsav. Okay, so what is Smart Driver Awards? A little bit more about Smart Driver Awards. Smart Driver Award is a self-nominating platform where the drivers themselves nominate, or it can be nominated by the LSPs for their drivers. We want their details, DL, photos, etc., etc. And we go through a 3-stage jury process, a state level jury process, a regional level jury process, and a national level jury process. The state level juries go to have a video interview with the drivers, understand their safety parameters, their understanding of technology, understanding of road rules and other things, based on which they were marked, and then it goes to the regional level jury and then to national level, and we choose the best drivers possible. Okay, so this is how it is. Right now we are on the 4th edition. And who is the man behind this? Many of you would have seen him in LinkedIn post, Ramesh Kumar. He's been talking for more than a decade and a half about Indian drivers, author of 5 books, and his 6th book is right now coming, and he's also the editor of Driver's Dunia, which is all about drivers. So this is what the guardian is, Mr. Ramesh Kumar. And the patrons for us is Mr. N. Shivashailam, the first secretary, special secretary for logistics for Government of India. Professor G. Raghuram, the man who spoke about supply chain management in India. He is the kind of guy, the guru for many of us in this August audience and elsewhere. Ramashankar Pandey, who is the former managing director of Hella, former managing director of Tata Green, vocal proponent of driving safety, driver safety. We have Mr. Akhilesh Srivastav, who talks about the technology involved in roads and drivers. So he is one. Phil Sarkari, the former managing director of Mahindra Logistics and Gati All Cargo, and Manoj Bhattacharya, the former managing director and CEO of Hitachi. So these are our patrons and advisors, and the team behind, including me, Mohundran Sheshadri, Ms. Shelvi, Shelvan Desraj, Balka Gowal. All these are names which you would have seen, basically service LSP providers basically. And a few photos of the grand ceremony which we had in JNPA, which was inaugurated by the chairman of JNPA, then chairman of Mr. Wog, along with dignitaries like Mr. Shivashailam and Professor G. Raghuram. So this is what we do. Okay, so the Smart Driver Award and the 4th Smart Driver Award would be ready by December, and we will be awarding the winners in January, the end of this thing. So what can the members of this August audience do to make our drivers feel respected, dignified, and this thing? Be a generous sponsor to our Smart Driver Awards program. We welcome any kind of sponsorship. It could be a sponsorship for the lunch or for the event, the premise, or an award facility per se, whatever it is, however it is. We are ready to organize driver utsavs in your organization. Large organization with lots of drivers coming in and day out and coming out of the plants. We'll be very happy to organize driver Utsav on this thing. LSPs with large hubs and other places, we will be very happy to organize driver Utsavs, which will have safety games, which will have what you call interesting entertainment options for drivers, but to encourage and appreciate their service into this thing. Advertise in our magazine Drivers Dunia, the quarterly magazine Drivers Dunia. And if you think that you do not have the wherewithal to do a Parivar Connect with the drivers, CDRM will spearhead on your behalf and do a Parivar Connect this thing. We are already doing this for many LSPs and couple of customers, couple of corporates too. And we'll be very happy to do that. And if you guys have any other creative idea how drivers can be awarded, rewarded, recognized, please speak to us. We will be very happy to speak to you guys and then, take this forward. So we need your support. We need your, this thing for this thing. Thank you. Your support matters. Thank you very much.
Let's applaud once again for Mr. C.V. Kumar. Thank you, gentlemen, for those inspiring talks, and may we gather for a group photo? Shall we have a group photo? Thank you for sharing valuable insight on such important topics. I request you to take your seat. Let's applaud for all the speakers once again. Yeah. So, in the interest of time, I request audience to take questions offline. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Up next, we'll have a panel discussion on the topic Future Ready Warehousing and Infrastructure by 2030. Could we kindly have on stage Mr. Anil Goyal, Vice President and Direct Procurement Head, Aarti Industries. Let's welcome Mr. Anil Goyal with huge round of applause. Mr. Milind P. Gadre, Head Procurement, Hutness Albertus Chemische. Mr. Milind P. Gadre. Let's welcome Mr. Milind. Mr. Kaushal Bisen, Head Growth Office, Indophil Industries. Okay. So, Mr. R. Parameshwaran, National Manager, Sales V Lodges. Let's applaud for Mr. R. Parameshwaran. The session would be moderated by none other than Mr. Sheshadri Mukundan, Senior Supply Chain Leader. Let's applaud for Mr. Sheshadri Mukundan.
Give me 1 minute, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, let's get going. Let's applaud for Mr. Sheshadri Mukundan.
I will need little help. I don't want to fall down. Okay, now I'm okay. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Over to you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real privilege for me to stand in front of you as part of the panel discussion on warehousing and infrastructure readiness for 2030. I am fortunate to have attended at least 8 of the 10 CHEMLOG sessions, so that's also another special privilege for me. I'm standing in front of you like our Indian captain, Shubman Gill, because many of you who are following cricket would know that in the last 3-4 years, our Indian team has been performing very well. Whether it is 39 for 3 in a T20 match or 60 for 5 in a 50-over match, as a captain, Shubman Gill doesn't worry because the depth of the batting or the bowling is very strong. Many of you would applaud that as well, as we have won many of these rewards. The context I'm trying to bring in is that I have 3 panelists who are industry veterans. So I don't have to worry about the topic or the discussion. I'm sure it's going to be a win-win for all of us. So thank you, gentlemen, for being part of it, Param, Anil, and Milind. I just want to take, the format would be that I'll take the first few minutes in terms of my experience with warehousing, particularly chemical industry warehousing. And then I would request each one of the speakers to introduce themselves, not in the customary format of what they studied, where they are and all that. Instead, one live example of how they have used their professional excellence in the warehousing space. Then we will follow it up with a few questions for the panel, which I would ask, and all of us would be contributing to that, followed by question and answer. I know we are standing between you and lunch, so let's make this as a productive session. So regarding my personal experience with respect to chemical warehousing, I was very fortunate to work for a company, Hewlett-Packard, where we handle a lot of dangerous goods, not the chemical per se, but in terms of cartridges, in terms of chemicals for our analytical instruments and all that. And when I was, and at that time, I just rolled back to 1995. I had no knowledge about chemical transportation, chemical warehousing, any of that. So my boss, Toru Murakoshi-san, he showed me the chemical space and told me that your continuance in HP is going to depend on how you manage this space. That was my first learning about how important managing that chemical part of the business was. The reason is, you all know, as veterans in the industry, there's a lot of complaints attached with shipments. Misinformation or wrong reporting could lead to bad press. More than the money component, I think it will lead to bad press. You have seen a lot of press covering it, saying that dangerous goods was handled without much of safety and all that. And the last but not least, cost is another important factor. What my experience in handling chemicals is that there is a lot of assumed cost, there's a lot of real cost. Now, if we don't manage the delta, obviously your P&L is going to be affected. So, long story short, my experience with managing a 2 million square feet warehouse, where we used to ship almost like 270 to 280 finished products, of which about 30 to 40 were very critical, which were the cartridges of the world, multiple varieties. I even recall one incident where Singapore Airlines kind of blacklisted our company because what we said to them and what we actually gave to them were very different in terms of quantity. Because you all know that air cargo, they need to balance the type of TGs that they carry. So we even had to go to the airline office to mention to them that it is not by intent. Everybody wants to ship the shipments very fast, particularly month-end pressures, all of that. So the point I'm trying to make is that the importance of chemical goods handling, I learned it the hard way. But we also were very happy to say that there was not a single incident in 5 years in that warehouse called Singapore Regional Distribution Center, including the chemical part of it, so I saved my job. So with that, I would kind of request each one of the speakers to take about 5 to 7 minutes, dwell about their experience in terms of managing warehousing. The topic itself is infrastructure and warehousing for 2030, which means what they do today and what they would like to do by the next 5 years. You all know that Indian manufacturing, we heard a lot of data in the morning, but I think as a common man, I know that the Indian manufacturing story is going to only grow and grow. Because it's not about being patriotic. I think it's about being practical, because a lot of chemical kind of industries are going to shift to India. You know the reasons, geopolitical, anti-something, all of that. So we will see increased investments in this industry. We will see a lot of technology coming in. We heard McKinsey talk about Gen AI and how it is transforming that industry. And we will see a lot of compliance, safety-related soft tools that will come into this industry. So I would like to hear from each one of the speakers on their practical experience of managing the warehouses as well as their readiness in terms of warehouse and infrastructure for 2030. Over to you, Anil, first to begin with.
Hello. Thank you, Mukundanji, and very good afternoon, everyone. Really happy to be here interacting with the esteemed professionals from the industry across the chemicals domain. I think on the subject, when we start looking at the warehousing,